they didn't have many women. And I don't know if a woman has been on, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for this. And I've said this to them before on the portal is portaling right now, big time, and just the NIL piece.
What should these kids that are not your top 100 player do to make sure that they are still getting recruited?
You know, women's basketball is making money now, which is nice to see for the girls. A school, a big school, a Power 4 school, your kid's not texting me back. So this is where the service never stops. I always tell my families too, everybody thinks the grass is always greener, but I always say the grass is always greener when you water it.
Do you ever plan to go back to college?
Success doesn't happen overnight, and parents need to let their kids fail. The kids nowadays, if you want to be elite, you have trainers and you're working out during the week, and they're in another sport. You're telling the kid, hey, you never know where those coaches are going to end up. Be respectful. Even if you tell them no, like you're not earning it. I want kids to earn it. A lot of parents, not a lot, some parents just want their kids to be given to them.
The importance of having someone vouch for these kids in general, I think is very, very important. And in my opinion, I think parents wait until it's too late. It's Just Different Pod. Welcome to It's Just Different Podcast. We bring on people who have been where you're trying to go and or have helped countless athletes get there. I'm your host, Ashley Roberts, your favorite coach that don't coach teams. I just bring on people to help you, yes, you, navigate this journey. And y'all, today, we got somebody special. She has seen it from coaching at the Division I level, current coaching high school kids right now, scouting service, McDonald All-American Committee, like all the things. And I'm excited. Sasha, how you feeling?
I'm good.
I'm excited to have this conversation. We are, wrapping up Final Four, a long trip, long week. How was Final Four for you?
It was good. Phoenix was beautiful, beautiful weather every single day. So McDonald started out there. I don't know if it's the first time that it was in the same city, McDonald's in Final Four, but it was for me since I've been there. So it was nice. It's just West Coast for a week.
Yeah, man, I'm still adjusting. We
Yeah.
start this podcast off with what's different, right? I think the game of basketball is different, whether good or bad. What would you say is different as it relates to high school or girls basketball now versus back then? Back then could be 2, 3 years ago.
Oh my gosh. So many things just with the W doing so well. The changes in the transfer portal, which is crazy right now. So the portal is portaling right now, big time. And just the NIL piece, just women's basketball is making money now, which is nice to see for the girls. So there's a lot of changes in the last couple of years. I got out of college coaching and went into club right at the change into the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not
How do
mad.
you how do you feel? I mean, like you said, the portal is portal, and how do you feel that is affecting high school athletes?
It affects them a lot because in being a club coach, um, these kids are like, they're all about exposure. All the parents, that's how you recruit kids, it's exposure. So they want that attention. But I always try to explain to them, like, college coaches aren't even thinking about 29s right now. They're thinking about the portal first and then 27s. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come watch a couple younger kids, but rightfully so. Um, they don't talk about my kids, my club at all. And we start next weekend. A lot of coaches told me they might not make it out to Phoenix, and that's okay. I get it. They're worried about that portal.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
glad you said that because I have that conversation a lot with 28s and 29s who are good. And it's like,
Mhm.
why aren't these coaches calling? Well, one, they can't, obviously physically
Mhm.
call, but
Right.
why are we not hearing why this, why that? And I'm like, at the end of the day, these coaches are worried about right now.
Yeah.
What's happening right now? What's the
Yeah.
immediate right now? What
Yeah.
should these players that are, I feel like the conversation a lot is about, the D1, 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 and I always talk about D free. In my opinion, I feel like these kids need to be looking at all levels, right? What should these kids that are not your top 100 player do to make sure that they are still getting recruited with the portal being so heavy?
I mean, just hopefully what we give them for the platform of exposure, whether I host a high school MLK tournament and those kids are playing in it, where we have over 60 college coaches come in one day, that's exposure. Trying to get yourself in the right tournaments, right where college coaches are. And just with our club. But you just, I mean, I, as a former college coach, teach them how to get recruited. It's not just about scoring points. So when you do these other things, that's going to catch a coach's eye. Um, so just I just got to keep grinding. That's what I teach our kids. And I told the coach this last week at the Final Four. He's like, I'm at a new school now. I can hopefully recruit some of your kids. I'm like, that's the misconception. Everybody thinks kids are, certain kids are elite, but the majority of your club is mid to low majors, hopefully, so that's the misconception, but just keep
Yeah,
grinding.
I agree. Real quick, if you are a basketball parent listening, I need to make sure you know about the different community. Every month, I drop a new resource. We do parent Q&As, and I help you navigate the basketball journey without wasting time, money, and energy. Listen, if you want clarity instead of confusion and real support along the way, come on over and join us. It's free for 7 days. The link is in the description, and I'll see you on the other side. I agree. Now, from your experience, obviously coaching at the collegiate level and talking to multiple college coaches all the time, what are, like you said, it's not all about points. What are some of those things? What are these college coaches looking for in these high school athletes?
You guys, I'm sorry. Something keeps this low storage keeps popping up on my phone. So, but that's why
You're
I
good.
keep clicking it. But a lot of things, how your character is the first thing coaches ask me is how's the kid's character, even in the portal, right?
Mhm.
How is this kid? How do you treat your teammates? How do you treat your coaches? Are you playing defense? Are you talking on defense? So those things you'll catch a coach's eye. Um, I have one of my parents in my club who's on the WNBA side, and one of the kids, he's like, I'm gonna put her on our radar for WNBA just because of her presence in the gym. Just she's talking, she's infectious. So those kind of things will get you on. It's not just about can they do this, but if you're a jerk to everybody and your teammates, and you're not gonna get recruited. If it's all about you because you play a team sport.
Mhm. Mhm. Now, you keep saying your program, you have her elite.
Yes.
First of all, how long have you had your program? And it wasn't her elite before,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, I used to be with a club FBC here out of Atlanta. When
Yep.
I left FBC, which is on the Under Armour circuit, I started her elite in October 1 of 2024. So
Yep.
we've had it. October will be 2 years, and then our
And what
first
made
year
you
we
want to
got
go? Oh, go ahead,
what's that?
sorry.
No, I said our first year we got offered Nike YBL then. So
First of all, that's huge.
yeah,
But
that's
talk
good.
about that. Obviously they're not just throwing it out to everybody. Like talk about that. Like what did it take to be approved or to get, EYBL to get in the league?
Well, like October 1st, 2024, I had one player, and that was my own. So I had no players, no coaches. So it's kind of cool to build it from the mud too. And that's what I teach my kids. Just keep grinding, keep building. So we just kept adding little by little.
Mhm.
And then we won. We were in the EY, the Champions League side of the Nike. Um, and we dominated and we won, and it was fun. And they offered to us maybe 2 weeks after Nike Nationals last year.
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. A part of that is making sure that you got the right kids. Is what you just talked about, having the right kids, having the right fit. I talk about fit all the time with parents. And I get the question of, well, how do I know what the right fit is? So that's my question to you. How do these parents understand if there is a parent who doesn't understand basketball, and they're truly just trying to do what's best for their kid, how do they know what's truly the right fit?
It's tough. I guess it's just in your gut. Like, who do you want? And I tell my parents this in the first meeting. If I'm not the right coach, leader, woman, mom that you want for then go find that, right? Because I want everybody to have 2 feet in. I don't want people who are, and that's tough for any coach, right? So I just tell them like, and I asked them in the meeting, but it was our program might have 8 teams, 8 shoe circuit teams. So 80 families in there. I asked, how many, parents here are high school AAU or club coach or college coach? And maybe 1 to 2 people raised their hand. And I was like, kids, turn around and look. None of them are coaches. Like, give us some grace. Like we're coaching your kids, right? But if I'm not that right fit, or if you know what I mean, you're coming to me because you trust me. You want to give, so that's, I had that speech about 2 weeks ago. And people are leaving programs because that wasn't the right fit. People are transferring because it's not the right fit. So I just encourage people to really dive into it and look what are your priorities that you want out of that, whether it be club or college, you know, because I always tell my families too, everybody thinks the grass is always greener, but I always say the grass is always greener where you water it. And if you don't water it, we're in a women's basketball generation now where I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna do this. But pour into it. That's what I try to teach our club.
Yeah. Now, when we talk about fit, like one, I do agree. I get what you're saying. Season has started, obviously, right? What are some signs that parents should look out for to know, like, okay, maybe this isn't the right fit? Like, what are those signs? What should they be looking for to know if it's not the right fit?
I mean, what culture are you looking for your child? So that's why I
Mhm.
always say, like, what are you looking for? What are your priorities? Are you looking for exposure? Are you just looking for playing time? Are you looking for, I just want to be the man on the team? Like, I don't do well with that. So I'm about teaching these kids how to play basketball, not just one person scoring, right? That's not how we're going to win. So I actually teach them details. I was a college coach, so we're very in depth with practices. So if you are looking just to go out and play free play and not, then go find that culture. That's where I'm just like probably on culture. Kid parents will know, is a coach not pushing my kid enough, or are they playing out of position? Sometimes when you're the tallest on a team, they put you in the post, but that kid only may be 6 foot, 5'11", which means they're going to play a guard in college.
Right.
So if a coach is not, if a coach is playing them out of position, in that sense, sometimes parents think their kid is a position that they're not. But if like I'm just giving an example for a tall kid, and they're only not that tall, they would play a guard. So things like that, culture, I would say, in position wise,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, that
some
makes
kids don't
sense.
want to travel. They just want to stay local. So there could be a couple
Yeah.
different factors. Yeah.
And I think you hit on it. It's really at the end of the day knowing what you want from it, knowing what your
Right.
kid wants from it. What is the
Right.
goal?
Yeah.
What are we trying to get this season? I think that that would allow a lot of parents and kids to know who I need to play for, where I need to be playing, and answer a lot of those questions. You
And just the
mentioned
track
you run
record.
your
Club's
yeah,
track records. Have they won? How they do things. That I know I don't have it. I
but
have a track record, but not my club yet. Yeah.
but do you think? Because I do agree, I do think that track record matters and relationships matters. A lot of these
Sure.
college coaches they have relationships, right? However, I do see a lot of parents that will go to, let's just say her elite. I'm gonna just use you. They'll go to her elite because it's like, oh, Sasha has all these relationships, has this and has that. I'm going to be guaranteed to get this look. Or just because she know these people, they're gonna recruit my kid. And I personally feel like that's where a lot of parents make a mistake, where they'll go to a program just because of who that person is or the name or whatever, and it
Yeah.
doesn't work out for all.
Yeah. And I tell my parents that when I'm recruiting them, I will give you the platform for exposure. I don't force colleges into offers. Like, I'm going to teach you how to get offers. So that's more. I say that I'm very direct with them. I don't say they're going to get this, this, and this. I will give them exposure. They're going to get exposure for sure, but nothing with you know. And I say that. So I don't know if clubs are misleading people and saying things, but I don't do it like that. Even with colleges, when
Yeah.
they're recruiting any of my kids, I tell them this might be a good fit. I don't think this is a good fit because those kids are going to be in the portal then in a year, and
Mhm,
it's not going to be good for anybody. So
mhm.
just trying to be direct with parents and coaches.
Yeah, that makes sense. You
Yeah.
mentioned that you run your practice, like a college, right? What does a typical practice look like for you?
Well, we have kids coming from 6 different states. So the last 2 weekends, we do like a retreat style practice where we go Friday night. It's really just skills and drills, a lot of
Mhm.
fundamentals, position work. On Saturdays, I stagger it because I have 8 teams. So I'll go the 13, 14, and 15U maybe, 9 to noon. And then we
Mm-hmm.
go the older girls, 16, 17, and some of the 15, noon to 3. And then we go we'll do 2 a days. So on Saturday, and then we go
Mm-hmm.
9 to 1 on Sunday, where we just kind of 17 will play 16, 16 will play 15, 15 will play 17, and we kind of do like a scrimmage style on Sundays. But on Saturdays, it's just a lot of meat and potatoes of what our philosophy and system, ball screen defense to our defenses to offenses to our blobs and slobs. We go over everything, and then we try
Yeah,
to, you know, then that's why we play on Sundays to go against defense.
I got it. I got it.
Oh,
Now,
very in depth. Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say it's literally like a college.
Yeah. But we do
No, I
it
love it.
more only on weekends right now because the only month we get the kids without school is July. So, yeah.
So you kind of went in and out, but y'all are you said y'all are basically only practicing on weekends right now, right? Until school
Correct.
is out.
Well, yeah, because the only month we get the kids without school is July. So we can only go on weekends when kids are and coaches and players are coming from 6 different states. It's so that's why we start at 8 o'clock on Friday night, just because give them enough time after school to travel from their states.
All right. You are about halfway through this episode. Hold on, let me get a little closer. Let me get a little closer. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to hit the subscribe button. And while you at it, hit the like button. I know I'm asking for a lot. Go ahead and share this with 2 other parents that need to hear this information. Because I'm here to help y'all, and I need y'all to help me so that I can get this information out to more people. Now back to the episode.
Hmm.
So let me ask you, do you feel like obviously I think that's what has to happen when there are kids coming from different states, right? In the past, I guess it was, you have your 2 practices a week or whatever, whatever. You see your kids and you go play. Do you feel like that is affecting, I don't want to say the development of kids, but I guess maybe that is my word. Maybe like the development of kids if they're not getting as much practice time? Or do you just feel like,
We get a lot of practice time on weekends, but the kids nowadays, if you want to be elite, you have trainers and you're working out during the week, and they're in another sport, which I am a big advocate of multi-sport athletes. So, my daughter's in track right now, which I think is great
Mhm.
for basketball players. So there's a lot going on. So they're still doing things as long as they're either training or in a spring sport. I'm okay with that. I don't think it
Makes
takes it
sense?
away because I think kids play too much basketball anyway, so I want them in other things. Um, but we do a lot on that on the weekends, and just this past weekend for the Final Four, I gave them off because I'm very big on being a student of the game. Like watch, I'm in our group meetings. Are you guys watching this? Watch how Lauren Betts has her hands up. Are you watching the South Carolina defense? Watch that. So we're learning. I think that is just as valuable, if not more, than going to a trainer and dribbling all the time, and just coming off a cone and shooting. So I don't think
Mhm.
so. I'd rather have them in a spring sport than practice basketball all week.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Sasha, I'm kind of like staying on like the fit a lot because I think that's like literally one of the most asked questions I get of like understanding the
Okay.
fit or when to stay. Like I said, right now season has started and there's already movement of just like it's a college portal. I always say it's the AAU portal as
Okay.
well.
Right.
So there's already
Right.
movement in that, and I'll get the questions of like, did I make the right decision? Should I stay? From your experience, when should parents like stay patient and trust the process, as we say, or when should they pivot? I do think there are times where you might need to pivot. Just from your experience, what does that look like?
It's tough on the club director side. Um,
Yeah.
most of my club probably 80% stayed. Um, 90% maybe. We only had a couple kids leave just because I wasn't giving them what the parents wanted, which you're not seeing the same thing
Mhm.
I'm seeing, right? Parents always think their kids are better. But I think me being a mom, and I have a freshman daughter, um, I have a 6'2" freshman daughter, long, but she's just not aggressive enough yet. I always tell parents I'm in trust the process. I'm living it right now. So I think me being an example for them, I don't play my daughter up if I don't think she deserves it. I don't start her, I don't play her. I make her earn it too, probably more than anybody, probably. So I get on her just as much as I do other kids in practice. So I think me showing it and being a mom and having a kid in it, they're like, oh, okay, well, so that's my example and experience of it, but it's tough. I think again, I had a couple kids come in the beginning of the year and didn't make it. They left after the first weekend because I didn't put them on the
Mhm.
team that I thought they fit on. Their parents don't coach, they don't know anything about basketball, but they wanted their daughter to be on, sorry, this little storage. They wanted their daughter to be on a higher team. And I explained to
Mhm.
them, like, you're the last ones to join our club. We already have our teams. You guys haven't earned or proved anything. It's just sometimes you gotta I let parents go because it's not worth it. Like, you're not earning it. I want kids to earn it. A lot of parents, not a lot, some parents just want their kids to be given to them, but they have no scholarship offers. Like, you're with Nike, you're with EYBL. Like, I don't understand. So you just kind of,
Mhm.
I want the kids that want to get it out the mud and want to earn it. Those are the kids that
Yeah.
do well with me.
Yeah. No, I like it. Now, again, you've already kind of hinted at it, but you also have a daughter in the game. Um, how has your perspective changed from like being the coach and then like you said, your daughter is literally going through the process as well. How has your perspective changed in that regard from coach to parent of an athlete?
You know, it. I was a coach before I was a parent, so
Yeah.
I think it's a little different for me. Sometimes a lot of these club, especially in club, they're a parent, which makes them become a coach. Um,
True.
so it's different because it's always my daughter. I was a college coach when she was born, and I would put her in the locker room and be out on the in the court with a baby monitor on my hip. So it's a little different because she didn't grow up like that. And my son, I have a 4-year-old son. He grows up in the gym. I'm just I don't. They're all my kids. Some of my daughter's best friends. They're always with me. 24/7 because she is. So it's different. I think for me, I'm on them a lot. I'm at the school. Like, what are they eating? One eating to gain weight? Is one eating to lose weight? I'm always around. So it's a, yes, that's a fine line. But for me, I think because I was a coach before a parent, it's all I know. Um, Sometimes I might be a coach at home more than I am a parent on the court. So,
Hmm.
yeah, but I mean, it's good, but I also the reason I had her elite is because of her, right? If I didn't have a daughter, I probably wouldn't have a club.
Hmm.
So, it's good for the girls, and Nike hasn't been here in 7 years, I think. So it's good for the state of Georgia, just in Atlanta. Just people are excited about it.
You mentioned it earlier, you also have a younger son. How do you just balance in general, mom, coach, coach of an athlete, and everybody else's kids?
That's the kicker right there. Sometimes as a mom, you feel like a personal Uber. And then the good thing is my daughter's 15 and my son is 4, so I have a babysitter. And everybody, it just takes a village, and that's where it comes from. Everybody kind of if you wanna at my high school, this is where our home base is for her elite too. That's where we practice. He knows the lay of the land better than anybody. He knows not to come on the court. He's just their coach's kid. So they're just trained. He runs sprints with them, he stretches with them, and then he knows it's time to go. Um, but it's just and everybody kind of looks out for everybody. We have other little brothers running around up there, and they go outside. They know where they can and can't go. So it's just it's maybe we'll have a his and her programs.
I love it. I love it.
Uh-huh.
Now, we done talked about everything from NIL to transfer portal to AAU to exposure, all the things. You also have a scouting service, right?
Yes.
Um, correct. You have a scouting service, correct?
Yes. The blueprint
Can
scouting.
the blueprint scouting.
Yes.
Talk about that. The importance of not even just your, obviously you could talk about your scouting service, but the importance of having someone vouch for these kids in general. I think is very, very important. And in my opinion, I think parents wait until it's too late. It's like
Yeah.
it's your last year, and it's like, can you help me get something? Can you just talk about the importance of it?
Yeah, it's important on both sides. From this side and on the college side. Because as you can see, just with the college side, I told you after this podcast, I got to return 4 college coaches. It's a full-time job, and that's what coaches need to understand. So it is a service because, and I give a lot of information on the kids and any information my subscribers need. On this side about on the club side, it's good because for the parents, and I was also a college coach. So it helps them, they need guidance. Some of these parents try to act as agents. And they don't know. And it's fair to the kid for the player, for parents and coaches and agents and whoever they have to know. But just giving them guidance, and I want to prepare my kids for the next level, whether it be on the court or off the court. Just return a coach's text when they text you.
Yep.
You don't leave them hanging. And I'm dealing with that in the portal right now. A big school, a Power Four school, your kid's not texting me back. So this is where the service never stops. You're
Yep.
telling the kid, hey, you never know where those coaches are going to end up. Be respectful. Even if you tell them no, coaches don't want to hear no, but they'd rather hear no than you drag them along. So just teaching them both sides. And if I go back to college, I think I'm going to be one of the best recruiters in the country because I know what this side wants. I know
Yeah.
what they're asking. I'm listening to them. So just kind of listening to both sides and teaching them.
Do you ever plan to go back to college?
Uh, I get asked that every year. Not right now. My daughter has 3 years left. And when I was a college coach, the reason I got out of it, she had made a comment to me, Mommy, why do I always have to go watch you play, but you never go watch me play? And so as a mom, you're just like, she's right though. I can never make it as a college coach. So it's tough. You just don't have as much time. But I'm never saying never, but just not right now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got it. I got
Yeah.
so I have a community. I have a community. It's called the parent community, different community, where for stuff that we talked about now, like where parents get to ask questions. We have meetings. I bring in college coaches, a lot of different things. Everything that we talked about, they get templates on how to do this, where to do this, what camps to look for, or what camps to go to, what to look for in the camps. And then a part of that, they get to submit questions into the guests. So I
I
have a
feel like this is
question for
my
you.
everyday life.
Right.
I feel like I do that in my everyday life. Yeah.
It, me too, literally.
Yeah.
Curtis asked, what are the best camps to be seen to be considered for McDonald's?
Oh, for McDonald's? I mean, the Wooten camp, obviously. Shane and Jason and KP and Bob Corwin have the Project Imperfect camp at the end of June. Anytime you're at a camp where the evaluators are there, who or anybody from McDonald's All American, it's always just good to be at. I'm only one person. Brandon Clay is also in this region. Kim, uh, and from Essence is in this region, I guess in Florida. But it's tough. You want to try to be when there's a lot of them together. Try to be at those camps, which is the Wooten camp, Project Imperfect. They're at a lot of high school stuff. They're at club stuff. So, but if you want to get them all at once, probably those 2 camps.
Got it. And I asked that question, didn't even go into that. You're obviously a part of the committee. What goes into just the process of being selected to be a McDonald American? And I guess just talk about that in general. I get those questions a lot, and I don't think people really realize that it is a process, and it is a committee. A lot of people that kind of come up with who's selected, your production matters, etc. But can you just talk about that? What that looks like?
Well, Joe and Terry Lynn Wooten are the directors of McDonald's. So I want to say there's 19 of us, 20 of us on the committee throughout the country. And some have been on it for a very long time. Some are new. I think I got on in 2019. Um, but we can talk to each other. Like, not, we can't be everywhere. And there are certain ones that work for SportsCenter that are national evaluators. But the other people are high school coaches, have regular jobs, do whatever. But so we just try to piggyback and talk to each other. And I trust their judgment. I don't talk to all 20 of them on the committee about what our picks are, but you try to go to your 5 that you trust and their basketball mind that is similar to yours, and just try to, pick their brain on. And McDonald's also goes by position. So when you're picking the 24 players on McDonald's, it may be that number 22 in the country on the Sports Center did not get picked because of position wise. If I'm making sense. So there has to
Yep.
be point guards, twos, threes, fours, and centers. And then if you're hurt, a couple people in the top 25 didn't make it this year because they didn't play a good chunk of the high school season. So that also goes into play. And, McDonald's is also built off character, just how the kids are on acting on social media or acting, that someone may see. All those kind of play a factor into the McDonald's selection. But getting on the committee, they didn't have many women. And I don't know if a woman has been on, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for this. And I've said this to them before on the on the like putting out the rankings, the Sports Center
Yeah,
rankings, the ESPN rankings. So, and we're in women's basketball. So I say this to those guys, but I think it's important. But they wanted more women on the committee as well, which is great.
that's
So,
good.
and regionally.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like to. I think more women need to, and obviously, as you said, it can go both ways. But I definitely do think that more women needs to be involved in girls basketball, right?
And they are making
Yeah, that's what I'm
those.
saying. I think they
Yeah,
are.
they
And I
are.
think that's good.
Yeah.
Like there are a
Yes.
lot of women that's involved, and I think that is a great thing.
Yeah.
So I love to
Well,
hear
we're in
that.
girls basketball,
Right.
so we lived it. We
Yep.
know, and it's good, and I think it's good to have both. But
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. Sasha, we have talked about so many things. What advice would you give these parents as they help navigate their athlete's journey?
stay the course. Everybody wants overnight success, right? Um, they just showed a clip today of the Michigan men, the point guard. I think he got MVP actually of the Final Four. They showed clips of him when he was in North Carolina, and I think Florida State might have. They showed a clip with them, and they weren't guarding him, almost like they did to Raven Johnson, right? Who played for me when Iowa. Caitlin Clark waved her off. Like she didn't put her head down. She didn't fold. She didn't. Oh, but I'm still good. Look where I'm at. She put her head down and shot 41% from the three this year. He came back and got Final Four MVP, right? Success doesn't happen overnight, and parents need to let their kids fail. That's the biggest thing. We always want to, and sometimes including me, sometimes I have to let her fail. Like I can't always be there to pick her up because I didn't have that, right? And that's how I succeed. So I think the parents got to let them fail.
This was good. I knew it would be a lot of good information from NIL, transfer portal, AAU exposure, scout, like everything. We talked about everything in this episode. Um, Tell the people where they can find you. Any information you got, let the people know because I know they're gonna be asking.
Um, well, I have a lot of social medias. Her Elite, I think it's Her Elite B-ball, and then I have Blueprint Scouts as well. So, and then I have my personal, but for Blueprint, you can go to Blueprint Scouts or Her Elite. Check out our club, Her Elite B-ball, on Instagram.
I love it. Listen, I need y'all to drop your takeaways. And I need to know if you made it to the end of this episode. If you made it, I need you to just put Sasha. Just put Sasha in the comments if you made it to the end of this episode. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this out with 2 people. And if you've been watching, you already know what I'm going to say. If you're not following on Instagram, I don't know what you're doing. Follow the page.
Right.
It's
Right.
just different pod.
Period.
Period. Thank you for staying to the very end. For that, I got a gift for you. You see, I'm always indifferent, and you can be indifferent too. It's just different. Apparel.com. Use code podcast to get 15% off. And if you did not like and subscribe, go ahead and do that.